Hey, it's MK, and I am playing along with the Mixed Media Mayhem recipe for today, and I am using my Kit Conspiracy kit, which is the Comfort and Joy collection by Pretty Little Studio. So for my fiber, I have brought in my favoriteest twine in the whole wide world, and then I also am going to use a silver splatter from Distress Ink, and then I brought in this scrap of Uber Super Glittery Yuck by 49 and Market, or no, I apologize, it's by My Mind's Eye, and I just want to use a little bit. I've got a couple photos here, some trees that I picked out. I can't remember if they are from the Joyful Mix or the Tree Mix. I've kind of mixed up all of my supplies. I picked out a couple of banner pieces, or I guess tiny word bits that were from either the Joyful Mix or also the cut aparts. I've got these cute, adorable little creatures that I plan on using on this layout. A couple of the tickets and tabs also from the Joyful Mix. So I've got those pieces picked out already. And then I have one of these floral, or two of these floral bits from the, I think they're called centerpiece florals, I think. I've got some fish that are from my shop that I still need to unmask. I also have these fish and hook elements that are also from my shop. Just looking for more of the hooks. So there are those. Again, they need to be unmasked. And then from my Gone Fishing set, also from my shop, I'm sorry, sound like a broken record. I've got a couple leftover pieces, not sure which ones I'm going to use. And then this little heart actually belongs on another layout. Sorry about that. So I'm going to put everything back on my tray. I brought in this sticker book from the Outdoor Adventures by Cartabella that I think will also help bring in a couple other colors. Here are my stars that I'm going to be bringing in. So I've got my stars, my spray, and my fiber. I also have this gorgeous candy red stripe paper, and then my favoriteest paper, which is this plaid, and two white cardstocks for my base. So the first thing I'm going to do is mount my photos. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm going to mount those, or nope, I'm going to cut my papers first. Now, don't laugh, but I'm only going to use 1/4-inch strips of this paper, and I feel like it gives such a huge impact because these papers are very bold, and I really wanted to add that little sparkle of winter by bringing in the My Mind's Eye paper. So once I bring in, or once I cut out my 3/4-inch strips from each piece, then I will go and mount my photos on the star paper. Now, I do have to tell you guys that this isn't in December. This was the year, it was 2023, and we had a huge snow dump. And so it's February, and we still have a ton of snow. The lakes are still frozen over, and it is just a perfect season and a perfect time because the fish are starting to think that it's spring. And so they want to come out and play and do all those good things. So my husband and his family friends that we call aunt and uncles and cousins, but they're not blood related. I did not go, but they went ice fishing, and it was such a fun time. I'm a little jealous that I was not able to go, but if we have it this year, I want to go this year. For sure, because I think ice fishing just sounds amazing, and it just looks like such a great time. So, and this is my favorite picture of my husband that I have had for quite a long time. So I just definitely wanted to make sure that his picture was in a 4x6 or close to it. And then I've got all of our trucks parked in a row, so that way there's actually 2 trucks, and then there's other people that were out there as well. But I wanted to make sure that I captured that because ice fishing takes up a lot of gear, which is weird. You've got regular fishing, which is just basically a pole and a rod and a couple lures, right? Ice fishing, you have to have an auger. You have to have a, what is that called? Like an ice pick, but they don't call it an ice pick. It's something else. It looks like an axe, but it's not an axe, that keeps the ice from freezing over and your line getting stuck in there. And then there's, I don't know what else. There's like a sled that helps you haul all your gear out there, and it's not evasive, so it doesn't crack the ice as you're moving it over. It also helps keep everything flat, so that way it doesn't put a lot of weight in one spot. It levels it all out over a large area, like a 6-foot area. And so it's just a lot to think about when you are on the ice. And it was actually quite warm. So if you look at the other photos that I will be scrapbooking of this event, it's my kids don't even have their gloves on. After a while, they start taking their jackets off and just all the things. So it was warm, but still cold enough that it was quite frozen for ice fishing. So it was super fun. So this one here is just basically the setup and getting ready to start fishing. I do have a couple other layouts that I would like to do. I decided not to do pocket pages on this one because this was our first time ice fishing, and for one, I really wanted to cherish the moment just in case we don't get to do it again, because my kids are growing up and moving out of the house, and sad days are coming, you guys, super fast. It starts this year. I have one son graduating, and then it's just going to be a trickle effect after that, because then another son graduates and then another one. And so anyways, we're going to be empty nesters within a span of 4 years. So it's pretty sad. Or 4 years? 5 years. Anyways, we're going to be empty nesters before we even know it. And so yeah, it's going to be a sad time for us. And so like I said, I wanted to cherish this and not do pocket pages and shortchange it. All right, so I am going to be using this burlap stencil from Dusty Attic, and I just decided that was too much white space and I wanted a dusting of something, and I picked out a pink and a beige from the Distress Inks. I think it's Antique Linen and Worn Lipstick. No, Worn Lipstick is bright. Tattered Rose. Tattered Rose is the dusty pink one that I prefer over all of his pinks. But I felt like it matched this collection perfectly. And so what I'm doing is just basically dabbing a little bit of brown, a little bit of pink here and there. I don't care if they mix and mesh and make mud, because I didn't mind the dark and the light, because after I put the photos back and put the layout back, it's going to end up being fairly blendable. Like it just blends right in to the background. I also put my layout together briefly. I didn't record it. Like I erased the recording because I didn't think you guys wanted to see it twice. But I only put down a couple key elements so that way I could trace and know where to put my stencil. I did not want to stencil the entire layout. I only wanted to stencil behind some clusters and where the photos were and whatnot. So I definitely didn't want the whole layout to be inked or stenciled, right? So here I'm going to go ahead and put the black plaid down, and then I'm going to put the candy stripe right next to it. Like I said, these are such bold colors that I wanted them on my layout, but I didn't want them to be the star of my layout. I really wanted the pictures to shine on this layout. And when I think about it, it's a lot of white space in the photos because of the snow. And if I would have used these papers or any papers from this collection, I would have lost all color in my photos. Like I definitely felt like something would have been missing, and the papers would have been more prominent rather than the photos. And when you're scrapbookers, that's not what you're looking for, right? You're definitely not wanting your embellishments to be the stars of the show. You want your photos to be the stars of the show. And so I wanted to make sure that I held those stars up by just using a little bit of this paper, and it does create quite an impact, if I don't say so myself. And I'm pretty proud with how much white space technically I have. So I'm going to go ahead and build my cluster and then add my little fiber. I'm going to bring in a hook, and then on the hook from my sticker book, I found this little pouch where you hold your fish. Now, when you ice fish, you can just throw your fish right on top of the ice and they stay nice and cold because they're on a block of ice. So you don't really need this, but I liked that it brought in the color of my son's jacket. That he has. He's got on that, I don't know, almost a cinnamony color jacket, and I liked that this bag helped add that extra color in, and it matches the little squirrel and the snowman scarf that I will be bringing in on the next page. So I wanted to make sure that I got enough twine, so I'm just bunching it up and making it look like it's strung out and just discarded, basically, how we find all of our hooks and fishing lines that got tangled up. People just toss them around and they get caught in the bushes and stuff. So that's one of my favorite things about fishing layouts is adding the twine and getting it everywhere, because that is the one thing I remember about fishing is that these what are they called? I think they're just called fishing lines. They just get everywhere. So I love adding that to my layout. And then of course, even though it's not a really fishing layout and it does say December up there, it's not December. I do apologize. I kind of thought it was. I thought this was during our Christmas break. And apparently it was not. When I went to go look back on the photos in my phone, I realized that it was not Christmas break. This was actually in February. So that's what told me that we had a long winter season, because normally the snow, it's still cold and miserable, but usually by February we're into nasty rain and mud and yuck, right? We might get a dusting here and there, but we don't usually have this amount of snow left behind. So anyways, I'm going to build a little scene down at the bottom. I just wanted to use up the trees and blend in another one of these, I don't know, berries? I'm not really sure. I am cutting off the stem of the trees on the ones that are in the front, just because of the fact that I felt like they were distracting. The little trunks of the trees were distracting, so I cut those off. I'm going to put Bambi right here next to my trees, and then put two cute little trees on the other side, just to build a little scene where I think I'm going to put a word down there. I don't know what I have up there, up at the top. It's so pale. I think it says family something. Favorite place is what it says, I think. Or this place or something. I don't know, you guys. The tiny words on that blue are very pastel-y. I can't even read it. And then, family time's down at the bottom. I see it now. And then I've got this great big block that my stars are going to shine. You can't really see the stars on the other photos because I cropped them down really super tight. So I made this photo mat super big so you can see the stars quite a lot. And then that way I have my stars. And then I realized that there's stars in this collection, so I'll be adding those a little bit later as well. My pencil lines weren't exact, so I do erase my pencil lines, but I have to say that some of them can still be visible a little bit, because once I put the ink over them, the pencil lines became permanent. So it only erased the pencil lines where they were still white. Excuse the noise in the background. I was hoping I got to go through this voiceover without my machine making a lot of noise. So if it is distracting, I do apologize. I just don't know when I am able to do voiceovers when I have to do when I have to work. So I'm going to create another little scene, and I am going to cover up this little bunny so it looks like the snowman is showing the squirrel his catch of fish. I know. It just made me giggle, you guys, that it covered up the bunny perfectly. And I don't plan on coloring the bucket or the bauble, but I might later, only because I know, spoiler alert, when I splatter, it gets in an unwanted area. And so later, I might color in my bucket. But as for right now, I don't have any plans to color in my bucket. And it depends on how bad the bauble bothers me. Okay, so this one was my favorite find in that sticker book. It actually says today's forecast fishing. And I thought that was perfect for this layout, because it doesn't really say, fishing on the lake, or, like, it doesn't really specify what type of fishing. And I absolutely loved that it had the word forecast in it, because, it's winter, and it was just perfect. Plus it brought in another one of that color because of the squirrel and the bag on the other side. I filled in my little labels. I just wrote my son's name, my daughter's name. That was my favorite photo. And then, of course, who was joining us. And then I will do the same on some other layouts as well. So here's where I realized that I had stars in this collection. So I'm going to put all of them, because there was only 5, I think. I'm going to put all of them on this page. I really didn't know when I was going to use them again. And it was the perfect addition to all of the clusters. I do apologize for being off camera here, but I'm supporting my pink tag because of the bulge that the glitter paper created. It wasn't laying flat, and it was kind of teeter-tottering on top of that glitter paper, so I wanted to make sure it was permanent by adding foam on either side. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some splatter here, and I pull everything off to the side. And when I go to do the right side, I didn't realize I was off camera until I started recording. So when I go over to the right side and start splattering, I do stop right here, because you really can't see anything else. So I apologize that splattering was not recorded. I'm just doing terrible at recording these days. And there is the end result. I love the little stenciling in the background. It's just nice and petite, and it matches the softness of the layout. I love bringing in these darker colors because of the snowman and the squirrel and my son's jacket. I just felt like this layout came together. I felt like I got a lot of product on this layout, even though I didn't use a whole lot of paper. I love the paper that I brought in. This is one of my favorite layouts, you guys. I really do love how this looked. I love bringing this paper into a fishing line. But it's fun, and it was definitely a winter adventure. And I just love this sticker, you guys. It just made me so happy. All right. Don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel. She is my partner in crime when it comes to Kit Conspiracy, to see how she is using this kit and making it work for her photos. And also, too, don't forget to check out the playlist for Mixed Media Mayhem and all of the people that are playing along. You can check it out right here. And then don't forget to go check out the other links that I have down below for Mixed Media Mayhem. If you're not part of our Facebook group, the link is down below. And then, of course, if you are part of our Facebook group and want to go straight to the album, the link is down below to see who all else is playing along with this recipe that isn't on YouTube. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much, and I will check y'all later. Bye.